Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at Jincheng Township in Kinmen, and let's start off at the Qing Dynasty Troops Headquarters. This is one of the rare attractions in Kinmen that is open at night. It's in downtown Jincheng, so if you need something to do, this is something you can do at night while most other places are closed. It is the troop headquarters for the Qing Dynasty. Before that, it was originally built for a scholar during the Ming Dynasty, and all throughout it you can see different pieces of weaponry, flags, and other such things that were there during the Qing Dynasty. Inside some of the rooms they have the figurines to show what it would have looked like back in the day. There is also an underground prison, which I did not see. If I could read more Chinese, I probably would have known that while I was there. But unfortunately, I found that out after I had left. This was right by where I was staying in the hostel. Also convenient to go to at night. And that room depicts the military commander and his wife, situated in the second hall of this complex. Now, going out from the headquarters, you are onto Jinjang Old Street, which is just a typical old street you see around many old cities in Taiwan. Not too busy, but again, this is a weeknight in a not busy season, so wouldn't expect many people. Here's the gate for the entrance to the old street. And just outside Jincheng Old Street is a Mofan Street, which we are coming up on here. Usually decorated with many Taiwanese flags. These are some of the places I walked around on my first night on the island. On my final morning, I started off going to the Juguang Tower, which was built back in 1952, which will be coming up on here shortly. And here we are. So this was built in 1952, finished in 1953. It was built to commemorate the fallen armed forces during the Battle of Gugang Tower, which is 4 years earlier. That is basically a pivotal point in the history between the People's Republic of China and the ROC, Republic of China, or Taiwan as we know it today. When the KMT was retreating from China, they had set up forces in Kinmen and Matsu, and that was one of the large battles that the ROC defeated the People's Liberation Army, or from the PRC, and created basically a safety net for Kinmen, or for Taiwan. The PLA was not expecting as many troops on the island. They were not expecting the 7,000 plus landmines that were set up on the beaches, and the first three flanks that came over basically got stuck and then either killed or captured. No one who came on to Kinmen basically survived or left free. And this is one of the shrines on Jinmen. Kind of cool with the horses out front, known as the Stable Master's Shrine. Now, on my first day, this was my first place I visited, going to the southwest corner. There are many villages around Jinmen for families back in the day, and this tower, Deyue Tower, was built near or right outside Shuitou Village. Interesting thing here is many of the people who were wealthy in Jinmen got their money from trading. There's a proverb in Jinmen saying that though as rich as Shuitou and yet without a house like those in Shuitou. Back in the day, these were the prettiest of the houses, meaning you could have the same amount of money but not the same living accommodations. Shuitou is very close to the harbor, which made it convenient for the sea merchants to set up a village here, but it also made it convenient for pirates. So one thing the people did here was build that tower, and as you would see, there are holes in the 3rd and 4th floor to allow rifles to point out to shoot incoming pirates. Also, the front house here was basically a dummy house and set up as a trap for pirates to go into. Nothing was in there. They could be trapped and taken care of. Now, going out throughout the village of Shuitou, there are the 18 roof houses, which is basically 9 houses with a front and back house. Something strange at that time. Also, you'll see Western style houses, such as this one here. Western style houses were a way of showing your wealth. As I said, many of these people went out to other countries, to the Philippines, Indonesia, to make their money, and then became traders. And so they brought back these architectural ideas from other countries and built these Western style houses as a way of showing off their wealth. Now, walking throughout the village, you'll see some houses that are very well taken care of and others that have not survived the test of time. Leaving through the east gate, I will now come up on the Thea Tower, built just outside the city. Again, a nice marble design, very intricate design. And this is Liangshan, or Mount Liang, and the stone tablet there that you see was carved by King Lu of the Ming Dynasty. He was there for about 10 years on Jinmen, and he carved these stones between roughly 1652 and 1654, and he was there as the last-ditch effort to hold off the Qing Dynasty. Gugang Lake and Tower is one of the favorite places of Chiang Kai-shek to visit on Jinmen. He would come here to relax and take in the beauty of the lake and surrounding areas. If only I could keep my hand out of the frame. Alright, going down, we will head out of here and head to another popular place, the Zhaishan Tunnel. Free visit, don't leave that. So walking towards the tunnel, there are many old ships and military relics. And remember, safety first. Not looking too bad. So these tunnels were built, started back in 1961, finished in 1966. They were built after the Second Taiwan Strait Crisis in 1958. And basically they offered a place for small Navy vessels to come in and seek shelter. The tunnel is 101 meters in length, 6 meters wide, and 3.5 meters in height. It's basically an A-shaped waterway to allow the ship to come in and turn around and go back out. So this is what it looks like on the inside. Now let's go out and take a look at what it looks like on the outside from where ships would come in. And here is that entrance, which we'll see coming around the corner here as we turn. And that's the same door we had seen earlier. Out at the end of the pier, looking back in, this is what the ships would see as they come into the tunnel. Alright, now arriving at the Zhushan Village. This was actually not a place I was planning on visiting, but it was the only place in the southwest corner of the island that had a charging port for my scooter. And I needed a recharge, so I stopped in here. It took about 20 minutes to walk around the village. The village people here are very proud of the feng shui, as the pond there is in the middle, and the buildings are built out from that facing the pond. This is an ancestral shrine. There are a couple shrines in this village. The interesting thing about this one, or the nice thing about this one, is that the guardians on the doors are not actually painted as they are on most doors. They are carved. I'll also come up to the door here, take a picture of that, and see the carvings here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Western-style houses were a way of showing off some wealth. And there are a couple Western-style houses in this village and one outside of it, which formed basically a triangle of defense. When Japan had occupied Taiwan, they were here between the years of 1937 and 1945. So coming up here pretty soon, we will see the Shui Fangjian Western-style building, also called the Military Tower. And that is where the Japanese had set up their soldiers. They were stationed in that house. Now, during the attacks over the time from between China and Taiwan, or ROC, many of these buildings were bombed, as there were bombings all throughout the island repeatedly. And this building up here in front of you is that military tower. On the back, you can see where it was bombed. Also, nearby houses that were destroyed and never rebuilt, like this one. We're heading back to the pond, leaving the village, going back to the scooter, and going to be heading out on our way. There in front of you, you can see another one of the Western style houses. And now let's head down this path to the Outswo beach. One of the prettiest beaches in Jinmen, although because it's kind of tucked away, not visited by very many people. As you'll notice on the beach, there are not really any footprints to speak of. But I'll walk around and check it out. Now, after a long day, heading back into downtown Jincheng where the hostel is I was staying. Showered, sun has gone down and it's starting to get a little cooler, so I'll head out and get some bubble tea, of course. So found my CoCo and stopping here to get a drink and call it a night.
你好，我有一杯大杯珍珠鲜奶茶，无糖温的，对。谢谢。
Don't forget to hit the like button and see you in the next video.